Thanks for everyone for coming. It really means a lot. Today I'm just making an announcement that I'm going to finish my AFL career. It's been an unbelievable journey. I've enjoyed the last 15 years. I'm going to really miss it, but it's been a big part of my life, and to be able to share it with my two boys the last couple of years has been pretty special as well. And unfortunately, I would have liked to have gone to the end of the season, but that was sort of the plan in my mind, to go to the end of the season, have another solid year, but didn't go to plan. With I tweaked my back in February, and hasn't really changed or recovered, so it's been put a bit of a damper on things footy wise. Can't really get up to train at the moment, so it's if I let it settle down and wait, it's going to be well into next year. So it's made the decision for me, which has made things a little bit easier to make the decision, but would have certainly liked to be out there with the boys for the rest of the season and push for another finals campaign. A few thank yous I'd like to mention. All the fans and supporters out. Swans fans and supporters over the last 15 years has been unbelievable. The away games, we've had some really good away game wins, and their support over the years has been huge. And every week we run out on the SCG, the fans, the motivation that they provide to the group and myself over the years has been huge as well. So thanks to all the fans and supporters, it's been massive. The football club as a whole has been amazing. Coming up as an 18-year-old, you got a lot to learn about life and football, and with Horse and Horse has been up here the whole time I've been here, so that's been huge for me, and his support throughout that whole time has been really appreciated, mate. And I've learnt a hell of a lot off you, football wise and life wise. So I'll take that with me for the next chapter. And yeah, I'm looking forward to what I'm not too sure what's next, but I'll be in footy in some shape or form, and
Yeah, look, thanks, Reg. On behalf of the Sydney Swans Football Club and supporters, everyone associated with the club, I just wanted to thank Heath for what he's been able to do for this football club. He was drafted at number 42 in the 2004 rookie draft, and took a few years to establish himself as a senior player. Played 34 reserves games, played his first game next to Barry Hall and Michael O'Loughlin, the forward line, where he kicked three. Spent a couple of years trying to establish himself as a regular senior player. Went down back under Ruzi and started to really make a name for himself as one of the best key forwards in the competition. Played the most games in the competition between 2009 and 2018 of anyone. So his longevity has been amazing. His ability to be able to get up week in, week out, for a big bloke playing on the best key forwards, has been incredible. It's been such a pleasure. He's been such a pleasure to coach. From when you sit in match committee over a long period of time, he just put his magnet up against the best key forwards in the opposition teams every week. He's formed some wonderful partnerships, obviously with his fellow defenders down there, and particularly the key defenders with Teddy and the like over the years. It's just been incredible to see him develop into a sensational player, number 7 of all time games played at this football club, one of the all-time greats of this footy club. And to see now the fact that he's grown into he turned up as an 18-year-old kid, and to see him now as playing so much football for this footy club and retire doing what he's done with 2 beautiful kids, obviously with Elise as well. To get to know that family over that period of time has been an absolute privilege for myself and for his teammates to be able to either play with him or coach Heath. So I really appreciate the opportunity, Reg, and sad to see you go, but he's going to be spending some time helping out some of our young key defenders, and we feel very fortunate to be able to have him still helping out a little bit along the way. Thanks, mate. Any questions?
Do you remember the moment when you took your back? What did you do?
I was in an intra-club game in February. We were just playing on each other, and I landed a bit funny. My back had been a little bit sore, sort of around Christmas time, and Just landed a little bit awkwardly, and I thought it'd be all right. I just thought it was another bit of a stiff back, but it sort of lingered on probably a bit longer than it normally does.
Daddy, I'm going to Mummy.
Okay. Yeah, it's lingered on a little bit longer, and with the doctor's advice and medical staff, it's probably the best thing to give it a bit of a rest and let it settle down and move on.
We've all sort of used one of the tough genuine hard men of the Swans. How hard was it to address the other players today?
Yeah, that's always the hardest part. I hadn't really teared up at all, to be honest. I sort of knew that it was the right decision, and as soon as I pulled up at the footy club, I started to get a bit teary, and then walking into the room to tell the boys, and played so much footy with a lot of the guys. They mean the world to me, and to be able to stand up there and say I'm finishing up, it's pretty tough.
What will you miss most?
Obviously the 2012 premiership was unbelievable. The grand finals, the finals campaigns were unbelievable. Football in general has been unbelievable with the boys. But I think I'll just miss being around the club every day, walking into the change rooms and a bit of banter with the boys. I think that's the thing that most ex-players say that they miss the most is the banter in the change rooms with the boys every day. It's something you can never replace.
Like Leo Barry, you started your career as a forward and then kind of moved down back. Where do you think your career would have gone if you hadn't been switched to the back line?
I don't think it would have gone too far, to be honest. Back to Adelaide, maybe. Who knows? Maybe on a wing horse. Bit outside spread. Yeah,
that'd be your go, Rich.
I don't know. I think it just suited me perfectly, so that's why I went down there and was pretty settled, and that's where I sort of stayed for the rest of my career.
How did you play so many games consistently, Heath? Because John mentioned the record there, and you play in a position where you probably get bashed around a bit by key forwards and impacts and stuff. How did you manage to just keep getting up, game after game, year after year?
I think we've got a really good medical staff to start with. I think the doctors and physios and that the way they look after us is very professional. So that's a good start. And then I always prided myself on my preparation and professionalism, and learn off the guys that come before me. And obviously there's an element of sort of luck along the way as well, that you got to be pretty lucky as well. So combination of all those sort of held me in good stead. And I don't know. I just always wanted to really get up for games, whether I was injured or not. I felt that was important for me to keep playing if I was injured or whatnot. But so I think I played some of my best footy injured, to be honest. So I found that a bit of a driving factor.
Who were some of the toughest key forwards you played on there?
Had a few over the years, but I know Buddy was in the room, but Buddy at Hawthorn was always a pretty tough opponent. Hawley, an ex-teammate and opponent towards the back end of his career, he was a hard man to play on. Nick Rewalt, Travis Cloak. There's quite a few over the years that have been pretty hard to stop on their day. So they're the Tom Hawkins, another one that you always line up against for a number of years in a row that you'll take away and remember for years to come.
What's the plan now? Heath, John said you've probably been helping the younger key backs while you've been injured anyway. But how do you plan on doing that for the rest of the season? And is that what you see yourself, development, coaching sort of thing?
Yeah, I think I'll. I don't know. We don't know exactly how it's going to look as yet. I've got to wait and see if I need to go in for surgery yet first. So I've got a few things up in the air at the moment, but I don't think too much is going to change. As in, I'll be in as much as I can to help the boys and pass on my knowledge as much as I can over the next 12 months or moving on from there. I'm not too sure how it looks, but I don't think too much will change in that sort of perspective.
Do you have the coaching itch at all?
I'm not too sure. I think it's very different to playing. I think I can pass on some knowledge, definitely. So I'm not too sure what the next chapter looks like too much, but that's probably what the next few months is to work out.
Did you come close to retiring at the end of last year, Heath? And what sort of convinced you to try and go around again?
I always thought I had another year in me, definitely. So I think that's you always want to push and get as much out of your footy as you can. And across my mind a few times last year, I had a pretty tough time with a little baby in that last year. So that was sort of took my attention away kind of from retirement and just had a few ups and downs throughout the season, which was a little bit different for me because I was able to play consistent footy for a long time. So I missed a couple of games last year, but I thought with another good pre-season, which I thought I would get up for another season. But just after Chrissy sort of had a bit of a hiccup, and that sort of put a spanner in the works.
And when did you sort of realise that you might not be able to get back on the field this year, and how tough was that to kind of work through?
Well, when it initially happened, I sort of was able to keep training and push through, but after a few more games, it really started to get stirred up and started to affect me at home a bit and things like that. So I couldn't do what I wanted to do at home, and I think that's a bit of an indicator to sort of look into things a little bit more, and it was starting to affect me personal life a bit. So got a few scans and things, and there's a few things going on. So I think that was a decision there.
It was just simple things like carrying the kids around and doing things like that.
Yeah, I couldn't. I was really struggling to get in the car and sit in the car on the way home and getting the kid, like the baby, out of the cot. I couldn't get him out of the cot and pick him up off the ground and stuff. And you sort of think that's normal because you're always a bit sore from footy, but it gets to a tipping point where it's just not. Starts dragging you down every day, and that was sort of where it got to. So I think I thought I had to make a change, and yeah.
And what kind of position do you think you're leaving the club? Like, 2 great wins the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's been interesting. I haven't watched a lot of our footy live from the stand, but this year I've had the opportunity to watch the last 6 to 8 weeks, and I've really enjoyed it, and it's been exciting watching the young guys get out there. I think we've had some ups and down weeks, but the last few weeks there's definitely been a lot of energy within the group, and I think it's exciting for the group. We've got a big game this week against Collingwood, and after last we've got extreme confidence in the group to get up for that, and I think they will, and really put it to them.
How rosy is the future of the backline stocks here, do you think?
Sorry?
How rosy is the future of the backline stocks here?
Yeah, I think.
Blokes who might be succeeding here long term.
Yeah, huge. I think Alia's gone to another level this year. Pell's really stepped up. Lloydie at half back, and Colin on the weekend was super for us. And Rance is having an unbelievable season. So I think there's it's exciting for the next tier coming through.
What's it been like, John, having someone like Reg anchor you back on over the years? Clubs would dearly love to have someone like that to anchor the back on. What's it been like for you as coach to have him there?
Oh, it's one of the things when you look at the team, you get your back six. You want to get your back six in order. That's one of the real keys of what we've looked at over the years here, and we've been really fortunate that we've just had a number of blokes who have just grabbed their magnet and put up there, and he's been the one that we've been doing that from the opposition keys for as long as I can remember, and having the faith that he can do it. He had a big tank as far as being able to run. His endurance levels were huge, and so for a big bloke to be able to run as well as what he could do, was that he was able to play on the rewalts and the real athletes, because his athleticism as a player was underrated. It was. You might laugh at it, Reg, but it was. His ability to be able to get to stop and get possessions. I went through his stats today, and he was actually able to rack up quite regularly big numbers there. Not only stopping the opposition best forwards, but part of the ball movement on the way out. And I think that's what he really developed over the years, is his ability to be able to springboard our attacks too. And that's what we're trying to do now, build another back six, and he's been an enormous part of that, mentoring and helping, along with a couple of our other experienced defenders. And he's very good at identifying what needs to be said and how it needs to be said. He's very straight down the line, and that, to his credit, that's been one of his biggest strengths at this footy club for a long time. He says it how it needs to be said, no fluff. Probably typifies the way he's played his footy, a little bit different maybe than another number 39 that's played at this footy club. Not as flamboyant, but as as a bloke who just goes out and does his job every week. Fantastic.
So does this allow you to do anything extra at the mid-season draft? Do you get scope for another pick now? How does that work?
We haven't sort of worked through that just yet. That's today's about Heath, and we'll look at that if we need to. But at the moment, we just get this. This is the most important thing for us today.
John, just like sort of, any word on whether Buddy plays this week?
I don't know. But we're going out to training now, so we've got a few things we need to get work through in our last training session, as we normally do. So we'll see how we go. All right. Thank you. Thanks, Reggie.
Thanks,
mate.
Thanks,
Thank you.